Hello everyone, and welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Cosmic Exploration. This is going to be an overarching guide of space and the universe and all the ins and outs of everything to do with the nature of our reality, from theories and hypotheses to straight up facts, essentially. But I like discussing very hypothetical things, but I also like discussing theories that are more grounded in the nature of reality. But I thought that we'd start off at pretty early levels of cosmic exploration. Think about it. The reason for the series name, I'll deep it for you. The reason for the series name is essentially because a lot of the people who have a lot of ideas about the nature of reality, and they really are, they have this sense of invigoration and wonder of the universe when they think about going out into the vast distances of space, exploring and being a cosmic explorer, essentially. But of course, it's not really on the cards for us, because you would have to go essentially through all of these hard trials to become an astronaut, of course, because it is very restricted at this moment in time. Hopefully our descendants will be able to just take flights to another planet or moon or some kind of base in space where they can go to. But of course that's not on the cards for us. So of course all that we can do is sit here from planet Earth. Most of us, of course, the people who have worked hard and are fortunate enough to be astronauts, they're able to go up and see the Earth from its out-of-body experience perspective, because that is kind of what it's like. You get that insight of seeing humanity from the perspective of, I can see not the whole Earth, but you get the picture of how sheerly tiny it is. And we can all even just look at the picture from the probe, the old pale blue dot, that's the name of it, I almost forgot. That photo can also make you realize, oh, okay, you know, we are absolutely tiny. But the knowledge of it and seeing it are two vastly different things. But my entire point is the way that we can get ourselves very intrigued and interested in the topics of space and theories about the nature of reality is by observing the night sky. It is one of the most easy ways to do so. And of course, a lot of people live in cities, so I can completely understand that you can see like 1 or 2 stars in the night sky, and that can be very awful for it. But if you try and give yourself 1 or 2 days in a month or something like that, you know, even if it's a very minimal amount of times in a year, you could even go once or twice a year. You go out to a place that's in a bit of the middle of nowhere, go a bit camping or somewhere, go to somewhere that's a dark sky reserve, see the night sky, even if it's not a dark sky reserve, even if you have to stay in the city that you're in because you don't have the ability to do so, look at the 1 or 2 stars in the night sky. Who knows, one of them's probably a planet. It potentially could be, because a lot of people look at Jupiter and they say, hey, look at that really bright star, and you're like, nope, that's actually Jupiter. You're looking at a planet right now. You've seen Jupiter in your life, but you never even knew that you'd seen it. And the same with Mars and Venus and Mercury and so on and so forth. People may have seen them. Saturn, you know, people may have seen these planets and not even realize that they've seen them. And it's of course, it changes your perspective when you've seen them through a telescope. And that's the next point that I'd get onto is, of course, using telescopes, if you have the ability to do so, is something that really does make the deep questions about the nature of reality start flowing within you. Because you look through the telescope, the first thing you probably will ever look at will be the moon. And as soon as you see the moon up pretty close with your own eye through a telescope, you're looking at it, you're seeing the craters, you're like, what? This is insane. The first time I saw it, I was like, this is crazy. I bought a £150 telescope or something like that, and I was like, this is insane. And then I upgraded, and now I've got a full-on one with a system and everything. It's got a star map within it that you just set everything up, and it calculates at what point of the Earth that you're on, and you know, it can automatically go to galaxies and all the planets in the solar system if they're out, and see, yep, galaxies, nebulas, star clusters, so on and so forth. You can see all of these really, really cool things and take photos of them, and it really created a good hobby for myself, and it made me so interested. I mean, I created a channel as well, and of course that makes you interested in all of the other things. And especially the main thing that I got mainly interested in was actually discussing about aliens. But I have a whole nother video coming on aliens. I've got quite a few videos there, but I'm talking more or less a cosmic explorer guide to aliens, the overarching subject of it. It's probably going to be a pretty long one in terms of length of a free talking type video like this, because this is sort of an introductory one to it, to explain myself, why I love space so much, why I love pondering the nature of my reality, because I found myself looking up so many times, asking the questions, each night, looking up, looking at the stars, spending so many hours outside. The amount of hours I've spent looking up at the night sky over the last few years has been absolutely insane, and it's been something that has been a perspective shifter. It's made me think about the long-term future of humanity. It's made me think about how I can help and contribute my little part into the future of humanity, and hopefully see some really great innovations that we can hopefully do to potentially make our species survive long term, because that's of course the main goal, overarching goal of the human species, is to of course survive as long term as possible, and that's spanning out into the solar system, then hopefully spanning out further into interstellar space, into other star systems within the galaxy, then hopefully spreading ourselves as far and wide across the galaxy as possible, and hopefully we can transcend all of the different crazy potential ultimate fates of the universe. But that seems of course potentially unlikely, but maybe we will find ways of navigating these things that we feel like are impossible to overcome at this moment in time. But look at what we've achieved in the 300,000 plus years that our species has existed at the point that we are now. So, you know, we've existed as we are as humans now for 300,000 years. We've achieved some very crazy technological feats. I mean, look what we are doing right now comparative to what people were doing 1,000 years ago. I'm talking to you through a video, through a whole concept that you wouldn't even be able to explain to somebody from even 300 years ago. They would have no idea what you are talking about, and have no conceivable idea of what this could actually mean and how it would work. Of course, very, very intelligent people might be able to understand the fundamental nature of it, but when you put it that way, it's very crazy. I mean, even that person from 300, 500, 1,000 years ago can relate to a person from 10,000 years ago much more than they can relate to somebody even 150 years in the future from them. Even think about it, somebody who lived 100 years ago can probably relate less to us than they could who lived 300 years before them, because the technology is so vastly different. But of course things were maybe not 100 years ago, maybe you can extend it more to 150, 200 years ago, but it doesn't mean that it isn't or is not interesting. It's just crazy. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than it is just crazy. But yes, yeah, I feel like this is something that we should all consider discussing. It's something it should be on the mind of every human. I know that some people find these things very existentially, kind of lights a fire under them as an existential crisis, and that can be very negative for people's progression as a human. But I feel like you have to face the negatives of this reality in order to have the best outlook on life as you can. And of course, when you're looking out into the deep cosmos, you're looking out at distances that you cannot even freaking compute in your brain. You cannot compute how far that distance would be, but you can see it, you can understand it to a certain level, and of course we're going to understand it more as we go into the future. So it makes you wonder what future advancements will be like, considering the gap in understanding technological wise. It makes you wonder whether there's a technological limit in the universe, whether there'll be ways that prevent us from spreading our species as far and wide as possible in order to survive the long-term future of the universe. These kind of things are the things that make us survive long-term as a human species, bring us together as a collective, all the very important stuff that means humans live, not so much trash stuff happens, only maybe natural disasters and stuff happen, not human-induced issues and interspecies conflicts, which all need to be ended in order for us to transcend this, or well, not even transcend it, it's even just move on to the next step of humanity. Because think, we're still living in the earthbound ways, we're still living in the ways of the peoples that came before us. You know, there's a lot of violence, and I would assume it would take collective research and coming together as a species to just be able to even make an impact in trying to span out into the universe, because of course it is so vast. But yes, I've had very much so fun discussing this topic with you today. I'd really like to discuss more things like this with you in the future. I'm trialing this kind of video, so yeah, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let me know the next topic you would like me to discuss. I'm probably going to do an overview on alien life in the universe, so it'll be good to see you in then video thing. See you later, my friends. Bye.